at last we're at part 5 of this mammoth haul, and it's 5 out of 6 because there's only one more after this. I've calculated it properly. This one I'm kind of just going for more independent label stuff. I mean, there's a couple still to go, but these are some of the more key ones I got. So we're going to start off with the brilliant Wild Tales. This one I'd heard a lot about when it came out. Not much about what happens in it. I just knew Pedro Almodovar was involved and that it was up for Oscars. And it really should have won the Oscar. I don't know what won that year. But I thought, fucking hell, like, I must get around to watching this. And when I did, I had no idea it was about short films. I had no idea what was happening in it. But after the first short ended, I thought, I am fucking so in. It set the tone perfectly. I couldn't believe my eyes, and I was just ready for it. And the thing is, this is a genuine, like, if you looked at the Ballad of Buster Scruggs, like that one, the Western collection that Coen Brothers did, each of them has a bit of a different genre, but they're all kind of quirky in their own way. This one is genuinely 6 different style movies. One is a dark comedy, one is a seriously bleak drama, one is a revenge film, one is a kind of mean-spirited dark comedy drama, and there's just more. It's just crazy. There's stuff that and there's like straight up comedy as well. You really don't know where it's going to go in each story, and they're all uniquely brilliant. And I've been dying to watch it yet again, and picked it up for I think $6.99. Again, another one of these fucking annoying boxes, but delighted to finally have it, and I'd say it's going to look fucking really nice too, because the one I looked at was a DVD, so to see it in Blu-ray will look much, much nicer. Up next, and unfortunately missing a slipcover, is the Basketball Diaries. Still a special edition with this annoying basketball sticker that won't come off, and it comes with a booklet, but I really like this orange slipcover that goes over and it kind of inverts the colours. It looks really nice. I've been waiting for a Blu-ray for this for a long time. The box is a bit ripply there. I fucking hate when they print like that. Wanted to see this for a long time because I saw a DVD years ago. A friend of mine put me onto it, and he just said, "Did you ever hear about this movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and Mark Wahlberg on heroin?" And I thought, that sounds made up, and it turned out not to be. And it was the true story of, if I remember his name now, was it Jim something? I'll probably go mad trying to remember this if I don't read it now. Jim Carroll, that's it, yeah. Who famously started a punk band. I can't remember what they're called now. But that song, Those Are People Who Died, is like based on his life. I think that's what it's called. I could be totally wrong with the song title. You'd have heard it in a lot of movies. It's in the Dawn of the Dead remake. James Gunn seemed to like it because he used it in that, and he used it in his Suicide Squad, which is great crack. But it's pretty much just bleak real life stories of Jim Carroll growing up in fucking New York and all the people who died in his life. And some of it is referenced in this, and it's an absolutely fucking phenomenal film. It's been a long, long time since I've seen it. I mean, this is back in early DVD days when I watched this. This is the special edition booklet made to look like his diary. Kind of filled with nothing. It's just quotes, really. It's kind of a bullshit thing. That was the original artwork I remember being on the DVD. It's basically just postcards that they've dressed up as a fucking booklet. But it's a pretty nice special edition, especially from MGM, because I don't think they do much special editions in general. But been dying to revisit it. It's a grim film. DiCaprio's phenomenal in it. I mean, between this and fucking This Boy's Life and Gilbert Grape and all, you can see why Scorsese was jumping at him as soon as he had the chance. Really phenomenal. Mark Wahlberg's good in it too, which, like, he really was good for a while, and then he just started being Mark Wahlberg. But absolutely top class. Fully recommend it. Fairly unknown. I mean, not massively unknown, but like not a lot of people know have seen it, and they should, especially with the star power behind it. The director, Scott Calvert, he's only done one other film. He might have done another, but I think he mostly does music videos. But the other film he did, I watched last year. I thought it was shite. I can't even remember the name of it. But Stephen Dorff was in it, and it was just bollocks. This is great though. He should fucking get back making shit if he gets a chance. Now this arrived ages ago. This might have actually arrived a lot, like, before I did my fucking video weeks and weeks and weeks ago. Duel to the Death, one of the seminal martial arts films of the early 80s, from Hong Kong, and I'd only seen clips of it on YouTube back in the day, and I thought, this looks cool, I must watch it sometime. Never got around to it. Completely forgot it even existed until Eureka said, hey, we're going to release a big juicy special edition of it. And I think, is it one of the fatter boxes? No. See, they've started doing these thicker boxes, but yeah, a new remastered version of it, uncut as well. As far as I know, there was trouble with the censors back in the day with the violence in it. Which, I mean, obviously today won't be as gruesome as most films were back in the day, but I think it was pretty bloody sword play, so if you weren't too happy with it. But I've been dying to see it forever, and now that I have it in the best way possible, I will do. And yeah, Fortune Star working with them, and Fortune Star still working with 88 as well to do the Jackie Chan stuff and a few other or I don't even know if it's Jackie Chan, but the Hong Kong martial arts stuff. There's some of the original posters on the back there. I love Ghana posters. They're fucking bananas. Bananas. A lot of good stuff in there. Looking forward to actually fucking throwing it on. Have high hopes for it. I know there was another one. There's about 3 films of this ilk that were out in the early 80s that I remember adding to my IMDb watch list years ago, which is thousands strong at this point. This was among them. I'll never remember the other 2 unless I actually sift through that set or that list. But likely Eureka or 88 will get a hold of them, so they will be available in the best way possible. And again, loaded with fucking extras, new transfers. I like these old cards that don't have a little gap here. I would like some writing on the side, but they make them feel a bit sturdier. This is a bit slippery though. And like the box slides out pretty easily, which is a bit annoying. But either way, it's a fucking lovely set, good quality and everything. And I trust Eureka. Everything they've done so far has been top class. This is a blind gift. Devil in a Blue Dress. Again, another noir I'd been meaning to see for a long time. Fucking love Denzel. I'd always seen it mentioned in like some of the best of 90s noir and just best 90s films and best Denzel films. So it's often highly regarded, and I love indicator stuff. The good old Ed King managed to get 2 copies of this, so he said, here, there you go, that's for you. And I thought, nice one. I've been wanting to watch it for a long time. I considered actually buying it, and it's a limited edition too. And I'm glad I didn't now, because now I got it. So there's Denzel looking jazzy and noirish. I don't actually know much about the plot. I just know, again, that it's a noir back in the day, and it seems Don Cheadle's in it too. I caught a glimpse of him there in the book. But yeah, also when they do their reverse covers, it's kind of strange. Like sometimes they're just basic, like that's the original cover there. So it's more or less the same, just with the blue font or with the blue filter on it. But dying to watch this one. Looking forward to it. I have a load of indicator actually I need to get through, box sets and all. But some I actually sought out to buy. The likes of Light Sleeper and stuff like that. So I want to fucking sit down and get through them. So they're top of the list once again. Here is one of the best films of the year, possible top 5 for me, and further evidence. I know I've already given multitudes of evidence over the years, but further evidence that Nicolas Cage is a phenomenal actor with Pig, a badly advertised film that makes it look like it's going to be Nicolas Cage's John Wick, but instead of a puppy it's a pig. It is not even slightly that. It is so far removed from that it's almost an insult they tried to market it that way. This is a somber, slow burn, fairly depressing but gripping fucking drama. Further showing Nicolas Cage's unbearable weight of talent. Hence his new film with that title. He should be up for an Oscar. I don't think he will be, because the Oscars are constant. They don't know anything they're doing. And I mean, if the Oscars really made any sense, they'd have pretty much Stephen Graham up every single year. So that's just proof that they're nonsense. But he should at least get a look in, because he is incredible in this film. It's sad, brilliantly acted. The music's great in it. The performances are phenomenal. Is it Nat Wolff? There's Nat Wolff and Alex Wolff. I think it's Alex Wolff, the 2 brothers. Alex Wolff is in Hereditary. He's in this as well. And the 2 of them are just kind of their own little team going to essentially find this truffle hunter's pig who was kidnapped. And they basically have to look through all the restaurants in, I think, is it Philadelphia? I could be wrong, I can't remember where it's set. Portland, that's Oregon, I think, Portland, Oregon. But it's just everything you expect to get from it, you're going to get the opposite, and in the best way possible. It is just fucking a special flick. And it's one that when I watched it, I was like, yeah, I really enjoyed that and thought it was pretty cool. Every day that went by, I liked it more and more and more, and I've been dying to watch it again. Then this popped up for £6 on Amazon. I said, there's no fucking way I'm not getting that. Even though I don't love the artwork, but it's pretty good. Up next is the newest Blu-ray I've got, actually, other than Miami Vice, but this is the newest release, and that is Mike Leigh's Naked. Was almost going to get the Criterion version of this, even though the artwork kind of pisses me off. I much prefer this moody, dour fucking artwork here. And that's the same poster they used for the re-release, because this is a 4K remaster of it now, but it's been re-released in cinemas. I think the IFI had it. I don't know, UK cinemas did. But this film is miserable, but in the best way possible. It's like gripping to fucking watch. I put on one night with one of the lads just randomly, and we were both completely taken in by it. He didn't like it as much as I did, but it just starts off. You immediately know this guy's a piece of shit, like irredeemable piece of shit. But you're following him, essentially walking around. I think it's London he goes to, or it could be Manchester. I don't know. He basically fucks off to somewhere to cause havoc, or I think he starts in Manchester. My brain isn't remembering the fucking. Yeah, he's in Manchester first, and he goes to London. That's what it is. My brain was flipping it there, and he's pretty much a bum who strikes up conversations with fucking anyone and everything, and seems to just bring the worst atmosphere with him at all times. Happy people living happy lives. He'll just talk to them for a bit and their lives will just suddenly feel like crap. As well as just being an abusive, ugly scumbag. And parallel to this, there's another story with this rich, snobby cunt who's pretty much the rich version of him, who just makes everyone's life miserable, but he's like rich and feels like he can get away with it. And it's a weird one. I think that actual part of the film is the weakest part. I think it kind of takes it down a bit because he's so over the top. But David Thewlis, one of the best actors going. This is his best performance for sure. And that says a lot because he's amazing in a lot of shit recently, particularly the likes of Fargo, and I'm thinking of Ending Things more recent. Top class. But again, BFI with the boring fucking background, but a nice good transfer of this with a decent booklet. They're always good quality with their booklets with decent interviews and reviews and whatever else. But a hugely controversial film when it came out. Just the dialogue in it, it's entirely dialogue driven. There's no action at all. It's literally scenes of people talking for probably over 2 hours. Yeah, 2 hours and 11 minutes. And it's riveting start to finish. I absolutely fucking loved it. Not a feel good film, but the dialogue is so gripping you can't help but just watch and watch and watch. And it's just immaculately acted. And a lot of familiar faces will pop up in it as well. Like, what's his name? Ewan Bremner, I think is his name, who plays fucking Spud in Trainspotting. He's a real scumbag in this as well. But a brilliant fucking movie. And like I said, I nearly got the Criterion, but once I heard this was coming out here, I thought, yeah, I'm going to fucking just pick this up. And it's the second last film of this year I'm going to buy, I think, if the other one arrives. And I'm going to do the last two together, because it's a pair of Criterions I got in the recent sale for 2 for $25 it was. And I'm surprised they went in, because they're both fairly new. Well, at least one of them is brand new. And that is John Cassavetes' Husbands and Bill Duke's Deep Cover. I have not seen Husbands. I picked it up based on the fact that you've got Ben Gazzara, Peter Falk and John Cassavetes, that absolute trio of 70s gods in terms of fucking gritty, realistic, dialogue-driven New York fucking movies. All fucking tremendous. And it's John Cassavetes directing it. And it's about, I think it's like 2 hours 40 minutes. It's a fucking long one. Criterion a bit odd with their booklets lately, because they kind of open out like maps. A lot of the Wes Anderson stuff does that now, and it's kind of annoying. I get why they do it, but and there's the lads on the back being manly. But as far as I know, it's one of those like tragi-comedy, dark comedy types. But it's about 2.5 hours of these lads just having conversations all over the world. And I'm all in for it. I just know it's going to be high quality, so I'm looking forward to actually sitting down and watching that. Deep Cover, I saw this maybe 12 years ago. Could have been more. Actually, no, probably about a decade ago, I'd say. I'll be around then. And no, actually, it was even less than that, I think. It was the second or third film I actually reviewed when I started Crack Reel all those years ago, even though it was actually called like Kev's Movie Reviews back then. But it's a fucking... I remember being a really solid, gritty 90s movies. Deep Cover being probably my favourite 90s hip-hop song, which is a high bar, by Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. And it was written for this movie, performed for this movie. It's gritty. Jeff Goldblum's fucking hilarious in it. Lawrence Fishburne's great in it. It's one of them in to revisit, because it does have some silly moments. I remember like me and the lads used to piss ourselves laughing at Jeff Goldblum's pronunciation of the word motherfucker in one scene, which was just side-splittingly funny. But as a film, I remember being really good. We kind of took away the funny bits more than anything else. But it is a really solid, gritty fucking movie. I love Larry F anyway. I'll watch him in fucking anything at this stage. So to get the two of these together for 25 quid was a fucking bargain, and I'm looking forward to revisiting them all. So that is everything from this pile. Oh, I'm going to knock the camera over. Soon these videos will end. Well, not entirely until next year when I buy more shit, but look out for part 6 and buy all this stuff.